Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the week ahead for January 6th, 2025. We're going to be entering into a 2 cycle this week, and this energy, now that we've sort of gained our bearings, so to speak, and we've sort of settled in to 2025, this is a beautiful week for pausing a little bit, for looking over the landscape to sort of figure out the best direction that we want to move in or the steps that we want to take next. We aren't giving up on our fresh new goals already. We're simply surveying everything to make sure that we aren't rushing the process, and in turn, through rushing that process, stepping into misalignment. So really this energy is about balance, equilibrium, finding our center, and making sure that we're connected to that center as we move forward in whatever area of life we're moving forward in. This is a perfect week to really check in with yourself and others to make sure that everything feels good, that it feels in balance, that things are working. Those areas that feel out of balance or misaligned are where your attention is needed the most now. So the questions would be, where is there disconnect? Where does it just feel like something's off? Doesn't feel good? Where don't you simply feel good? Or as good as you'd like to, let's put it that way. And what steps can you take now to get more connected holistically? What does that look like? And it doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight, and it certainly likely won't happen in 1 week while we're in this vibration. But this is the time to take a closer look at that, especially at the beginning of a new year and a new universal cycle. So this is such a great week for that. And, just take notes. You're just surveying at this point. You're just figuring out what's working, what's not working, what are my options, what steps could I take, and start planning, start thinking about it. And then you'll continue to perfect it as you continue forward. But you have that level of awareness now from checking in with yourself, checking in with your center to see what doesn't feel good, what feels off, what feels misaligned. That's where your energy is needed. That's where you need some tender love and care. And this energy this week is helping us dive more deeply into that so that we can get a plan, so that we can make decisions that will get us to a place that feels more aligned and more in balance. Where are there too many bumps in connections or relationships at this time that might need some ironing out? Where is it that you could make some compromises with yourself and others in order to clean up things a bit and to get a better, just to get to a better place within those connections and within those relationships? And again, we're talking about compromise, not sacrifice, and there is absolutely a difference. But I would also say that we just need to be careful and make sure that it isn't our pride telling us that it would be sacrifice when in actuality it's compromise and we just don't want to do it. So there's a lot of getting real with ourselves this week and being very honest with ourselves. This is a week when pridefulness can absolutely trip us up more than anything. That and stubbornness. They'll keep us from stepping into that balance that we so desire and that we want to achieve. So be really careful about that. This week, ask yourself what's more important, your pride and having things go your way or no way, or compromising where needed and making the appropriate adjustments in order to get those desired results that you're kind of looking for. This week will likely ask us, and I would say it most definitely will ask us to be very honest with ourselves and with others, and then make decisions from that space of honesty. Sometimes with honesty doesn't always show us what we want to see. it usually shows us what we need to see so that we can get into greater alignment with ourselves and with the greater world around us, right? So this week could push us to stop believing the lies that give us that false sense of security and comfort and step into the truth of the situation. No matter how challenging, no matter how much we might not want it to be the way that it is, because that's how we get it to a place where it is what we want to see, or at least something that feels more aligned. Sometimes we have to move through those challenges, and in order to move through those challenges or to gain that level of awareness, we have to be very honest with ourselves. And this week is a week that will push us to do that and to break through those unnecessary illusions, which can be seen as lies or smoke and mirrors. So this is sort of a week that's that, I guess some call it a come to Jesus moment, right? Where we have that with ourselves sometimes. And it's more about, again, just being very honest with ourselves or very honest about the situation. Are we seeing it the way we want to see it, or are we seeing it the way it actually is? And if, regardless of how we're seeing it, how do we feel about it? How is it affecting our experience? What changes need to happen? Where is it that we're sort of fooling ourselves within a situation and not being honest with ourselves or not listening to the truth of the situation? That's a big theme this week. And at the end of the day, the choice is always ours. We can continue to have the blinders on and believe the lies, so to speak, or to play in the smoke and mirrors, or we can get to the truth of whatever the situation is, be very honest with ourselves, be very honest with the decisions and the choices we need to make in order to get us into greater balance and alignment, and choose those steps, and then see the better results. So the choice is always ours, and this week kind of reminds us of that. But in order to get in balance and to feel holistically aligned and whole, we need to, again, be very honest with ourselves. And this can be around career or relationships or our health or whatever. But this is a week where, getting to the truth of ourselves and the situation is what's going to serve us best. This cycle will absolutely require decisiveness and trusting the process. This isn't a time for being easily influenced by others or the external. It's truly a time to come back to self, to use our discernment when it comes to judging what feels right, what feels good, and what feels off and not so right or not so good. And we're meant to follow those guideposts when it comes to making decisions this week. And if you can do that, which of course you can, you'll break through any of those illusions or fog, obstructing your vision that's keeping you from seeing the full story. This is a week to gauge whether your own personal truth is aligned with the universal truth of what is, or is your personal truth more aligned with the 3D truth of illusions and smoke and mirrors? What's real? What isn't? What do you value? What don't you value? With this sort of deeper understanding and greater awareness, what are your next steps towards that greater alignment with the truths that you want to be aligned with? So a lot of deep stuff going on this week, potentially. I mean, the energy can be there. It's what we choose to do with it that makes the difference. But really powerful energies here to make some really important decisions with the direction that we want to be moving towards, and what that truly means for us, and what does that look like. And remembering that we get to decide that, right? We're at the helm of that ship, of our own ship. Another question to ask yourself this week is, what role do I play in areas of my life where there's imbalance? Like, where is it that I'm creating my own self-imposed prison? Where is it that my stubbornness is creating these roadblocks or this disconnection with relationships or others? If we don't like that role that we've taken on, then what steps can we take in order to trade it in for something that fits much better? These are some of the questions we can ask ourselves this week. And through those questions come the answers. And those answers might mean that we need to make different decisions. We need to take different action. But at least we'll know what that looks like. And, again, it's up to us what we choose to do with it. We can either take the action, we can either make the different decisions, or we can keep doing things as we've been doing them and get the same results. But if we don't like the results that we're seeing, if we don't like the experience that we're moving through, we're the only ones who can make truly a difference in that. So this week is great for that deeper contemplation and even taking action. Right? Being decisive and committing to it, putting in the effort, taking action, right? After we've formulated that plan, after we have that awareness. But this is a great week for taking a closer look at ourselves, where we're facing that disconnect, where we feel out of balance, and what is our responsibility for getting us into greater balance. Because usually in these situations, nobody's going to do it for us. They can help us, they can assist, they can support, but nobody's doing it for us. And so, really interesting energies. But overall, a beautiful week to get back on track, to make decisions that serve all involved, including yourself, especially yourself, when it comes to the decisions that you're making for your life, and cut through the illusions and the self-imposed roadblocks to step into that greater holistic balance in as many areas of life as possible. So I hope it is a beautiful week for all of you. I'm right there with you, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.